Welcome everyone, thank you so much for joining in. So today, as you can see, we are going to start this analysis by looking at the price action of Bitcoin here in a 4-hour time frame. And just like yesterday guys, I am actually going to talk about this cup and handle one more time, because yesterday when the price of Bitcoin was hovering around this 34,000, we said the price of Bitcoin, if the support is going to be there, could be forming a very nice handle before seeing a movement here in an upper direction. But unfortunately, the price was actually unable to hold this support line around 34,000, and we saw this shakeout type of scenario. But all of a sudden, you can also see the price started heading in upper direction, and right after that, again another pullback scenario appeared. So what to expect next? Is this cup and handle now already invalid? What I would say is, if the daily candle is going to find support again above this 34,000, then I am actually going to stick around this cup and handle scenario. But if the daily candle is going to close below this 34,000 today guys, then this cup and handle scenario is going to invalid, because before we started this impulsive move to the upside, if we look at the stage 1 area, right, this movement from where the candle closed till the top of this stage 1, right, if we would take this line from this stage 4, the top till the bottom area, you can see we also did actually manage to see a pretty similar pull back here to the downside. So this is actually indicating, if this is going to be another scenario just like here to the upside and also here to the downside, then this shakeout here could also actually make sense. But what we don't want the candle here today to do is close below 34,000, because closing below 34,000, the daily candle is going to invalidate this cup and handle pattern. And not just only this cup and handle pattern, today we are also going to look into one very interesting scenario, because in a daily time frame, if we would look at the price action Bitcoin using this Williams alligator indicator, according to this Williams alligator indicator, we have said every time when we see this blue line crossing above this red line and the green line, that usually indicates the trend here is weakening and we could see potential downward price movement. But whenever we see the green line at the top like this here, right, and the blue line at the bottom, that actually indicates the trend here is preparing for another impulsive move. So in a simple way to understand this, every time when you see this green line at the top and the blue line at the bottom, that usually indicates market potentially could see some impulsive move playing out. And every time this blue line is at the top and the green line is at the bottom, this usually indicates market is weakening. And also today, what I want to include is a consolidation scenario. If we would see this moving averages coiling up like this here, right, moving averages coiling up, or even when we had this bigger price pullback, the coiling up from March, or this one here, you can see when you see this moving averages coiling up, that could be an indication, hey, the market could be preparing itself for another movement. And in our case, and look at this Williams alligator indicator, even though the blue line is at the top, right, and the green line is at the bottom, but if you look at the way the price here is moving around this Williams alligator indicator, we can see very clearly that the price here is not showing us the possible trend direction, because this moving average, the coiling up, usually indicates more of a range bound market before price chooses the trend duration. Because if you look at the RSI right now to the downside, even the RSI line is below 50 level, but to the downside this T3CCI is in a positive territory. So we are not getting a proper confirmation, because for a proper confirmation of a downtrend movement here must be something like this here, right? You can see blue line clearly crossing above the red line and the green line. At the same time, the RSI starts going below 50 level and the T3CCI also starts entering the negative territory. Only then we would be actually aware of this potential downward price movement. But right now, since the T3CCI is in a positive territory and also this RSI is trying to approach this 50 level, right, this is actually showing us the price here could see some more consolidation before choosing a trend duration. And if you would look at this price structure in a bit different way, no problem, you can see here. So you can see here, this is also in a daily time frame. What we are going to do here is we are going to draw this broadening bottom type of scenario for Bitcoin, because we talked about this on my yesterday's video. I also said if the broadening bottom scenario is going to play out, the price here at any cost must break the neckline area of this cup and handle pattern. So the neckline area is sitting around 35,500. So if this is going to play out to the upside, or price wants to see any sort of a possible impulsive movement, then the 35,500 neckline somewhere around here must be broken. So if we would look at this area now, right, around this area, if we would look at this broadening wedge, resistance from this 35,000 is very, very strong. Right? That can be seen very clearly here today as well when we approach the area. But one thing to take into consideration is that this ascending triangle scenario where the price found a rejection from the upper line area, right, and from the lower line area, which acted as a very strong support, the price here got a rejection while trying to re-enter it. You can see here when we had this pullback and price tried to re-enter it, the same line, right, which acted as a support acted as a resistance exactly around 35,000 area. So now we know 35,000 is also acting as a resistance. So that's why at any cost, if this trend here wants to show any sort of impulsive move, then 34,000 support must be held at any cost, and also we have to break above this 35,500 price range. And any sort of a pullback, or if this trend is going to see a continuation here to the downside, then we are aware the lower line here could be again acting as a very, very strong support. Every time when we have seen this pullback around the lower line area of this broadening bottom, the price has always seen some impulsive movement playing out. So if this is going to fail and price is also going to see a bigger pullback, then we should be aware the price here could be getting gravitated towards the lower line area of this broadening bottom, which could actually bring us again around this 30,000 price range. So let's see how this one is going to play out, because as I've already said, we want the price here in a 4-hour time frame at any cost to 34,000 price area. And also to monitor this price movement, what we can do is we can look around this area in a 4-hour time frame. So now if we would look at this in a 4-hour time frame, guys, what we can do here is we can simply look at this price movement by using this descending channel, because this descending channel upper line acted as a strong resistance, lower line played as a very, very strong support, because every time when we had this price pullback, price came at the lower line area, we always saw really nice support from there. So now if we look in our case, you can see the price got a support here, slowly heading to the upper direction. But if we would monitor this price range here, we can see a very, very clear scenario. I mean, price here could be forming this symmetrical triangle scenario inside this descending channel here in a 4-hour time frame. So that's why you can see in a 4-hour time frame, we want the price here to stay above this 34,000 price range, because if that is going to happen, then we could be seeing some impulsive move playing out for Bitcoin here in a 4-hour time frame. But any sort of a rejection could potentially lead to another pullback type of scenario, which could be indicating the price here, which I showed you with this descending bottom, we could be heading towards the lower line area, and this lower line area again could be around this 30,000 price range. So that's why wait for price to break some important line of resistance or support before placing any trades. And also guys, before I conclude this video, I want to make one thing very, very clear. I have seen many people writing Anup is always showing bullish targets and always bullish. That is completely wrong, guys, because you know, I have said very, very clearly, unless the price is not breaking an important resistance line here to the upside that is sitting around 41,000 right here, this one, we are not calling this bullish market, right? And also to the downside, unless the price is not breaking this key level of support around 30,000, we are not calling this as a bearish pullover, because I have showed you with so many different examples. If you have watched my video, I also showed you with this distribution phase from Wyckoff's. According to this distribution phase, right now, since the price of Bitcoin is showing this similar scenario with this reaccumulation phase, distribution and redistribution phase, we said before the price is not breaking this important line to the downside, here, the support line of 30,000, this is not going to be called as a redistribution phase, where the price would see a potential downward movement before forming another accumulation phase. And we have also said, if this is going to be accumulation phase, right, this is accumulation phase, then the price must close above this 41,000 and find support above it. Unless the price is not breaking this to the upside, we should not call this a bullish trend reversal as well. Not just only this, and I also showed you with this example from this Wyckoff distribution, unless the support line here to the downside around 30,000 is not going to be broken, even this distribution phase from Wyckoff should not be actually bothering us, because between this 30,000 and 41,000, this price range must be broken to call this market a bullish or bearish. I also included this rounding top for Bitcoin in a weekly time frame, because according to this rounding top, since the price of Bitcoin was still hovering above this 30,000, we said unless this 30,000 support here to the downside is not going to get broken, right, even this rounding top scenario is not going to be valid. So until then, we are still waiting for a price to choose a proper trend duration before placing any trades, because breaking here to the upside is also going to invalidate this rounding top, and breaking below this 30,000 is going to make this rounding top valid, which is pointing out 24,000 price range to the downward direction. I even included this BLX chart here using this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve and also this Fibonacci retracement, because with each and every bull market, you can see only after reaching the top of the channel we saw an actual trend reversal for Bitcoin, which brought us all the way towards the bottom of this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. You can see here since 2011, 13, 17, and since the price here not reached the top of the channel, we said if this is going to be a bullish movement here to the upward direction, then at any cost this 1.618 Fibonacci retracement support must be there, and this support is also exactly lying around 30,000 area, because in the previous price action you can see when the price found support after this pullback at this 1.618, we found another impulsive move for Bitcoin. This is pretty similar scenario. This price pullback is also finding support at this 1.618, and if you go backward here from 2013, you can see pretty similar scenario, guys. Price had a pullback, this pullback ended at this 1.618. So now you can see with this from 2011, also pretty similar scenario. Price pullback ended exactly at this 1.618. So this was also actually indicating if the price of Bitcoin is going to break below this 30,000, 1.618, then the whole scenario is going to be invalid, right? This bullish scenario is going to be invalid, and we should be preparing for potential downward price movement. So as you can see, unless the support line of 30,000 and resist line here to the upside around 41,000 is not going to be broken, we are actually expecting more of a range bound market for Bitcoin. And this is what I wanted to share with you in today's episode. If you enjoyed my work, then guys, please hit the like button. And for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.